What's going on for you? How could I help?
Honestly, I've just been having trouble with just everything with going on with the virus and stuff. So this is less it's LSAT related, but not a specific area of the LSAT. So it's just LSAT related in general. I've been kind of going back and forth with just kind of being discouraged, and then also like saying like, okay, well, you don't really know what's going to happen in June, so you can't. Like I've been studying for the LSAT for a couple of months. I've taken an LSAT and I've continued to study after. However, I'm just terrified because I've been studying to go to law school in the fall. And so it would really suck, I guess, if I weren't able to go to law school in the fall. But with that being said, there's so much uncertainty. And so it kind of makes me scared to not study, because what if I am able to take the LSAT in June? And so I don't know, I don't know. That's kind of, what are your opinions in regards to that?
First off, I totally hear where you're coming from. I mean, everything in the LSAT law school world, as well as the world in general right now, is kind of in limbo or in a holding pattern where we don't really know what's going to happen next. At the same time, though, there's no downside to being ready for the LSAT too early.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a world in which even the June LSAT is administered in person. I think July is a bit more likely to happen, either in person or online.
Mm-hmm.
Law school in the fall may happen in person or online.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't even know if law school is going to be in person as normal. Then you have the question, do you want to start 1L if it were online? Given that law school is a lot like high school, tight-knit, small community, making lots of social connections, you miss out on a lot of that if it's online, but you're still paying the same price, presumably. So you might have some questions around, do you want to pay the same price for that if you were to go in the fall?
Mm-hmm.
As for the LSAT, though, you might take it in June, you might take it in July, and still start law school a couple of months later, because law schools are extending deadlines. They've got to fill their seats.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, thanks for answering that. I know that a school that I was interested in, Syracuse University, they extended their deadline till August 5th. And that, well, it's not the fact that they extended their deadline, it's the fact that the uncertainty of the June test to take a test in July. I don't even know when the July test is offered, because I haven't even allowed myself to think that that's going to happen. So I haven't done the research, but it usually takes about 15 days to get your score back from when you take the test, and that will like 3 weeks to get your score back when you take the test. And if you were to apply by that deadline and be accepted, like how quick of a turnaround that like you would need to pay deposits, find housing, and all these things before the beginning of the semester, which I don't know about you, but like going to college was hard enough trying to figure that stuff out. And so not having the security of like being able to live in a dorm for some places, or, not being able to find dorm housing depending on how many students they have in their undergraduate, that also like, there's just so many like things you may have to find your own housing and all these different things that are kind of scary. But with that being said, sorry.
No, I have some comments on that, actually. It takes about 3 weeks to get your score back. That could put you past an August 1st deadline. Mm-hmm. But law schools will do what they have to do. If the June LSAT doesn't even happen and the July is the next one, they're going to wait for scores to come back. They're going to move their deadlines. They're going to give the wiggle room, whatever it takes. And then when it comes to getting you to start in the fall, to get you on campus, to get you housing, they will make it happen. They will do whatever is necessary to ensure that you can start fall semester if you want to, because they want you to, because they want the tuition, they have all their fixed costs. They've got to keep it all moving forward no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess my next question is actually about the LSAT, but I've been studying logical reasoning here for the past month or so, and I don't know, I've been doing specific question types. And so I have a tutor that I use, and he's very helpful, but I'm kind of a little bit confused on how to do something. And I don't know if you maybe have a different way of doing it that I could use. So when it comes to necessary assumption questions, so the way that my tutor has me whoever's presenting or whoever point of view it's coming from, you read over the paragraph, get a good understanding of what the paragraph is stating, restate the paragraph in your own words as if you are the person presenting, and then go through the answer choices and act as if you're someone talking to it's really weird. But it works, but it's a little confusing for me right now. But act as if you're the person asking yourself a question, saying, okay, well, you believe that this is the case, and you state whatever answer choice A lists. And then you as the presenter say, no, I don't believe that. And whatever sounds, well, obviously you're going to make all of them into no, but whatever sounds like a lie is the one you go with. And that's really hard for me to do because I don't always know which one will sound like a lie. Sometimes you can kind of read the paragraph and kind of assume or figure out what the assumption is for necessary assumption, but other times it's way less straightforward. And I don't know if there's a different way of doing that to where it's more definite of a way of figuring it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're talking necessary assumption questions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, necessary assumption questions. The correct choice when negated will destroy the argument. So if that choice when negated seems like a lie, given the information in the stimulus, then it could not possibly work.
I understand what you're saying. I guess I would just need to really get a great understanding of what the stimulus is stating so that I can identify what sounds like a lie. There's sometimes I forget exactly what LSAT question it is, but it talks about a teacher, teachers and being able to relocate to different regions, not having enough qualified teachers within a specific region to make smaller classrooms. Do you know what I don't know. It was something I was doing recently and I was like, okay, well, I can automatically assume that why can't they get teachers from out of the region that they're in? But there are some questions that are so hard that I can read it and just not even really understand what they said, even though all the words are in English. And so I guess it's hard for me to necessarily understand or read different stimuli in a way that I can understand them on a regular basis.
Yeah, well, I like the idea of making it real world relatable, like you were having a conversation with somebody. So reframing it, paraphrasing the stimulus in your own words, that's always going to be a good step to take. For any question you get wrong, for anything that gives you trouble, as part of your review process, articulate it for yourself. Write it out, talk it out with a friend or a coach or a tutor, explain it to yourself, explain it the way you would explain to a 5-year-old. So really dumb it down and simplify. If you can't explain it simply, then you probably don't get it well enough. And you want to do all this without even looking at the stimulus. So you read it, then you flip it over, you put it aside, and you ask yourself, can you articulate it in your own words?
Yeah.
Then the lie part, the negation test, that certainly works. So the correct choice when negated will destroy the argument. It could not possibly be true given the information in the stimulus.
Okay.
Direct conflict in a sense.
Okay. I guess just right now it's taking me, I know there's still months until the June LSAT, but it's just the time that it takes to do that. I just maybe thought maybe there was a different way to do it.
Well, there's never going to be shortcuts. I mean, this is hard. If it were easy, everybody would get top scores, right? Theoretically, or the curve would be crazy. The point is that you don't have to do this for every single question, but for the toughest problems you encounter, it's worth slowing down and engaging in this process. So for example, when I work with students, I'll have them send me the 3 to 5 hardest problems they've recently encountered, along with photos of their diagrams and notes and their review process. And part of that review process is articulating it, explaining it in their own words. Yeah. So not for everything, but for the toughest ones, it's worth doing. And if you really want to get in depth with your review, let's say you do a practice test for every question you get wrong, and then all the ones that give you trouble, that could be 20 or 25 questions. This could take hours. But if it helps you avoid making the same mistakes again, it's worth it. And if it requires that you do fewer exams in order to review the exams that you do in more depth, then it's worth doing. Before we sign off, what would you say is the biggest insight you got from our call today?
And honestly, the information in regards to, this virus that's happening and the overall, I guess, future of the LSAT. I guess hearing it from you, because you do study the LSAT and you work extensively with different students and stuff, and you've done this for such a significant amount of time, it does help me not lose, I guess, it helps me not be discouraged because of just how uncertain it is. But also I think that the necessary assumption, just knowing that what I am learning is the only way I'm going to get better at this, is also really helpful. So the entire call was helpful. I guess it made me a little bit more calm in regards to continuing to study for the LSAT and not feeling like I was wasting my time or like it was not going to be reciprocated, at least in the future, with being able to take the test. That just kind of made me feel better, because I've only ever gotten one email from a school that informed me that they're, extending their deadline, but I also know I'm not subscribed to a lot of schools. And so just knowing that that's something that's happening across the board is helpful.
Awesome. Great. Well, please keep in touch. Let me know if you need anything at all as you move forward.
Okay. Thank you so much for meeting with me. You have a great day. Okay.
You too. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.